crowds have cleared and the players have headed out, but it's good news for Blue as Port Orchard FC today has avenged our 1-0 loss in last year's championship by thrashing Sharktopus FC 4-1 in a match that certainly could have been 5, 6, 7. A lot of good things happened out there today for Port Orchard in front of a nice crowd. So hello, Patrick Leonard, head coach.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What do you have to say with that intro?
Yeah, well, I appreciate your positive outlook on it. I thought first half we weren't quite to the standard we wanted to be at, but the thing I really appreciate about this group, coaches and players alike, was we all absolutely recognized that and called it out pretty quickly to ourselves. Kind of a quick reflection as a group and then how we're going to move forward. Made a couple adjustments and felt like the boys really actively stepped up to be at the standard we wanted to be at.
There was a temperature reading of almost 90 on the pitch, but it felt like more, and so the ref did do the right thing and have hydration breaks. Something tells me in watching it that both hydration breaks were a positive experience for you to talk with the team.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna stop the game for 2 minutes and it's a pre-planned thing, we're gonna be ready to go to come together and actually discuss it and recognize the things that we need to do. I thought in the first half, for example, where I'm saying we weren't at our best, scored early, which was great, but then up until that water break after that, I thought we weren't at the level we should be at. I do think they responded when we talked briefly during that water break, and when we stepped out until halftime, I thought, although we didn't score, we were heading in the right direction and we could build on it.
Yeah, and you brought in some fresh midfield legs at that point, which also helped things. But accurate to say that between minute 10 and minute 40, it was Sharktopus's match to boss, and they were displaying what they're known for. Some great chances. They could have finished a couple, and we were hanging on a little bit. So I was happy when the whistle blew and it was 1-1 at the half, because I knew we could build a response, which is what happened. What did you say to the guys at half?
Well, at half's pretty spot on. We said we knew we were walking into a tough game. So for it to be 1-1 at half and for us to feel like we weren't at our best is a good spot to be, because we knew we could correct it and look to push forward from there. But to walk out of that at 1-1, my jaw's not on the floor and frustrated about what we're doing, you know what I mean? Because we knew the level of opposition. They beat us last year, and rightfully so. Things are obviously going to get chippy and people are it's going to have intense moments in the game, but as far as what they're capable of, it's nothing but respect, because we know every time we come in against them, it's going to be really, really tough. And today proved that again. I know we pulled away at the end, but you could just see their level, and that's why they were 2-0 coming into this game, That's why they were top of their division.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about that. What I've already been telling people or calling the best 8 minutes of soccer that Port Orchard has ever played in 3 years. No pressure. But it began with active work by Jagger Judkins and Derek Johnson and Connor Loudon and the overlappers helping them up front. Shout out to Calvin Moe as well.
I also want to shout out Ryan Anderson, because when we put him at right wing back, we started Colby there, and Colby was doing great, but Colby was going to need a rotation of something anyway, and we wanted to be safe about like a possible injury, and the minutes that Ryan put in there, I felt like really impacted the game in a positive way for us.
Yeah, and the 8 minutes of magic were preceded by 2 or 3 minutes of near misses and knocking on the door. And, how that goes. Sometimes in soccer, you get frustrated that it didn't happen, and you kind of let up a little, or you just, you don't keep going. And instead, Jagger finished one beautifully to give us a 2-1 lead. And then Derek comes in and scores 2 more in his active role. And suddenly you're looking at 4-1, and that part about dominating, I think there's a question in here somewhere, but I'm just happy to say that there were maybe 4 or 5 other chances to make it 5-1, 6-1, 7-1.
Well, I think
beautiful stretch.
Yeah, I think you're giving like a real honest assessment of what it is. I think what we saw on our end when we were knocking on the door but not converting was that can go one of 2 ways, right? Like a team could really get frustrated by that, because those are moments where we can do something good and we fall a little short. But we as coaches were trying to reassure. Like there was another one where Connor was right in front of there, and he did everything right to be in the right spaces. Reassuring him it's the right spaces, continue to make that, we'll get the next one. And eventually, over time, we're able to find those opportunities and convert them.
So Mr. Derek Johnson was a post away from a hat trick.
Yeah.
Talk about his performance.
Well, we didn't play him at the left wing back in the first half, and I told him I was putting him there because I feel like he's one of those guys that he's gonna just you don't outwork him. You'd be hard done by to find somebody that's gonna outwork him. So just knowing what he can do, knowing how he can open things up for us. And in the right moments, he'll take the opportunities, but in other moments, he'll be selfless and set other people up. So I just think his energy level was needed, and there's zero surprise on my end to see that second half out of him. He was giving me headaches when I coached against him in high school a couple years ago. When we had him last year, he's one of our key players in how we played, and we put him around based on need. And again, we still follow that today. We put him somewhere based on need, and he comes through big.
It wasn't always, I don't want to say fun, it wasn't always easy to watch. Sometimes it was nervy. But I really do want to give a shout out to our defense and the new formations you're using. Because in the end, look at the scoreboard. 1 goal against a team with this much firepower.
Well, and the finish was a great finish.
Yeah. Oh, no, that goal was worthy of evening the match for sure.
Yeah.
But they certainly had lots of chances. But I also think that Hunter, among others, and Ryan, before you switched him to that other side, and Caleb, and
Sebastian Moran.
Sebastian when he was
that's
in.
his Port Orchard debut, and I thought
Yeah.
he was.
No.
I thought he was immense in the moments we needed him to be. I thought Diego playing back there did great too. He brought energy where we needed it, and he was a good, consistent voice throughout the game for us. The guys are stepping up. We've been playing Caleb at wingback, and we just felt like we needed him on the left side today and a little bit more tucked in to help out, and I thought he did the job.
I would also congratulate the boys for not caring about their physical well-being, because how many times did guys absolutely throw their bodies in front of balls?
Well, and when you're saying and I know what you're saying here, I agree with you. When there's moments that aren't as pretty on the day,
Yeah.
right? That's because it's two really good teams, and it's tight and it's contentious, and there's momentum swings throughout that, and that takes an intensity to answer that call and to be brave in those moments. Which, to be fair, I think guys can come out here and they can look at it one of two ways, and I think we try to create an environment where everybody's looking at it the same way, and we're representing something in a club and a community, and it's a privilege to do that. We want to take that opportunity, and we want to make people proud with it.
So, Coach, awesome win today. Good stuff. We're now 1-0 in the league, and one of our crossover games is done. We'll check in with you later about the rest of the schedule coming up. But just for today, we'll only talk about this one, so congratulations.
Well, and also just want to say real quick is again, not for nothing, to hear POFC chants again, to have that pushing guys on in a tough, contentious game. We see it in the playoffs. We see it throughout the seasons and the previous seasons. To feel that energy today and another great day with good numbers in the crowd, that pushes these boys on. So community effort, team effort, everybody's on the same page.
Yep, good spirit after the game, lots of chatting, family atmosphere. It's good times at POFC. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.